I don't want or like VO gatekeepers. I'll call them gatekeepers telling me how to do my business. I don't like that. I don't want that. And I don't think you should want that either. Now, traditionally, when we think about gatekeepers, VO gatekeepers, or kind of old school people, they preach a certain, quote, gospel. You have to get our training or lots of training to get into VO. You have to get an agent, maybe live in a huge city like Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, whatever. You have to have our pro demos or someone we approve of, and you have to charge union rates, SAG-AFTRA, or GVAA rates, or rates that we at least okay. We say they're okay. But really, the new gatekeepers are basically the same as the old style. They're just a little different version of the same model. They got the same issues, I would call it. Gatekeepers say nowadays, with kind of the new technology and the way voiceover is nowadays, you can't work on freelance sites like Fiverr and Upwork and make any money. They call it hamburger money. You're just making hamburger money. You are just doing a hobby. In other words, you're not a pro. You're not a full-time pro. You can't do that if you're on Upwork or Fiverr. Or you can't be well thought of in the industry, especially by the cool kids, the in-group. Here's some other things that gatekeepers, the new gatekeepers, think and say. You must charge acceptable industry rates, or you are selfish and you're not helping the voiceover industry. Some even resort to name calling and intimidating. They kind of get in your face because you're hurting their industry. You're hurting their bottom line. Here's another thing they say. You can't use pay-to-plays or certain pay-to-plays. Of course, they'll tell you which pay-to-plays you can use and which ones are evil and you can't. And lastly, you must take their training courses, follow their podcasts, go to their conferences, or you can't be a real VO talent. You're kind of a rogue VO talent, just kind of a pretend, or somebody that's out there doing things that are negative and evil and wicked and hurting the VO industry. Now, just understand, I'm all for doing business right. But who are they? Who has a corner on the market of doing things right? I know there are things that are illegal. I don't do those. And certainly unethical in a real sense by just any standard. But these VO gatekeepers think they're right. I'm not so sure. I think I do a pretty good business. I have a pretty good business. And if these gatekeepers can prove to me that they can do as good or better than me, then I don't have a problem learning from anybody. And I learn things from them. But my point being is I don't want or like people, anybody, but especially I'll call them gatekeepers, telling me how to run my business. And you shouldn't either.